For only the second time in over 80 years of the tournament, a 4 seed won March Madness. Even crazier, for the first time in tournament history, there were no 1, 2, or 3 seeds in the Final Four. The Final Four consisted of a 9 seed for only the second time in NCAA history, 2 5 seeds, and a 4 seed. So how did this miracle happen? FAU was a 9 seed that made it to the Final Four this year. Prior to this year, a 9 seed had an only 0.07% chance to make the Final Four, as there's been just one ever who lost. In order for a 9 seed to make it to the Final Four, there must be some crazy upsets along the way. In the East Division, in the first round alone, the 1 seed, Purdue, lost in a shocking game to FDU. This game already knocked out the supposed toughest opponent in FAU's journey. Although this is the only upset so far, other than 9 seed FAU beating 8 seed Memphis, the next round will have an upset, making FAU's chances much higher. 2 seed Marquette lost to 7 seed Michigan State. Already, after only 2 rounds, the 1 and 2 seeds were already gone, leaving only the 3, 4, and 7 seeds along with FAU. In the Sweet 16, 9 seed FAU was facing 4 seed Tennessee, their toughest opponent yet. But in a shocking victory, FAU moved on to the Elite 8, going against Kansas State, who had just come off a crazy win. There was only one game in between FAU and the Final Four. In a back-and-forth game that came down to the wire, FAU won, and for the first time in school history, were in the Final Four. The first 5 seed to make it to the Final Four was Miami. Entering the tournament, a 5 seed had only a 4.7% chance to make it there, having a total of 7, with only 3 winning. In the Midwest Division, there were no major upsets in the first round, with the only underdogs winning being 11 seed Pittsburgh beating 6 seed Iowa State, and 9 seed Auburn beating 8 seed Iowa. The next round was more of the same, as all higher seeds other than Miami beating 4 seed Indiana won. The Elite 8, however, was much more interesting, as Miami, facing Houston, comfortably passed the 1 seed by 14 points, moving on to the Elite 8 against 2 seed Texas. In a back-and-forth, crazy game, after being down 10 points with only 8 minutes left in the game, Miami won on a 28-11 point run, beating the 2 seed in a shocking way, moving on to the Final Four, for also the first time in school history. The other 5 seed to make it to the Final Four was San Diego State. The South was possibly the most unpredictable region, as not only 4 seed Virginia lost to 13 seed Furman, but 2 seed Arizona lost to 15 seed Princeton. Just like that, 2 out of the 4 teams seeded ahead of San Diego State were eliminated. In the following round, somehow, Princeton won yet again against 7 seed Missouri, along with 4 seed Creighton upsetting 3 seed Baylor, leaving only the 1 seed by the Sweet 16. Facing Alabama in the Sweet 16 would be the toughest game for San Diego State, but they managed to pull off the upset, moving into the Elite 8 against Creighton, where they barely snuck past by 1 point in a crazy ending, sending them into the Final Four once again for the first time in school history. There, they managed to beat FAU once again from a crazy last-second buzzer beater, sending them into the finals also for the first time in school history. UConn was the 4 seed that made it here. A 4 seed had only an 8.8% chance to make it to the Final Four, as there's been 13 of them at this stage, with only 3 winning. So how did UConn not only make it here, but win the whole thing? UConn displayed one of the most incredible performances in NCAA tournament history, as they won every single game by at least 13 points. They had a bit of luck, though, as they only played one team that was a lower seed. 1 seed Kansas was sent home early in the second round by 1 to Arkansas in a very close game. 2 seed UCLA lost in the Sweet 16 to 3 seed Gonzaga, sending Gonzaga into the Elite 8, where UConn easily beat them after passing 5 seed St. Mary's, sending them into the Final Four. They had their closest game there, though they still won by 13, against Miami. After winning here, they dominated the finals, making them the second 4 seed to win March Madness. To show how crazy the Final Four was, only 6 out of 20 million brackets had this Final Four. This year is by far the craziest year, with by far the most upsets. Every round had so many surprises within. 2023 is a year that will never be forgotten in the basketball world.